Hey, welcome back to Pastor Stacks Podcast, and away we go. All right, listen, we're going to talk about what's on my mind, what's in my heart, what's in my soul. Then we're going to put somebody on the prayer list, and we have a really interesting person that we're going to put on the prayer list today. He thought he was going to be able to get over. And I mean, right now he still might, because the case is in court. But we'll get to the prayer list in a moment. But before we do, first up, and I've been looking forward to talking about this, there's been an update and an arrest made in the Tupac murder case. Now, Tupac is my favorite rapper to this day. He's been my favorite since I was about maybe 15, 14 years old, something like that. There's, for me, there's no rapper or really artist that had the kind of insight and soul and just overall artistic delivery that Tupac had. It's just haven't seen anything like it before, haven't seen anything like it since. But he was murdered in Las Vegas, I believe back in 1996, and since then the case has gone unsolved. Well, there's been an arrest, and they believe they have arrested an individual that was part of the people, or if not the person, part of the people from the car that shot Tupac from one car to the car that Tupac was in while Tupac was in Las Vegas. Now, I know you like, if that's 1996 and this is 2003, how in the world is that arrest being made now? Hasn't the case gone cold? Isn't there no evidence left? Can you believe that an arrest was made of a guy named Christoppher D, because this guy has been doing multiple interviews admitting that he shot and killed Tupac, and that he was a part of the gang that pulled up in the car beside Tupac's shot. He's been admitting this in interviews, that's, just like you're watching me now online. He's been admitting this online, and I was just reminded, Malik just reminded me, and he wrote a book. It's like he was saying, will y'all please arrest me? But he thought he could get away with it, and this is why he thought he can get away with it. Apparently, back when the case was new and fresh, the police arrested him, brought him in to try to get some leads and evidence, things of that nature, and they gave him something called a proffer. I never heard of a proffer before. I don't commit crimes. Why would I? But a proffer apparently is you can admit to whatever crime and the police are giving you a pass. They're not going to arrest you for the crime you admitted to doing, because they need to get more leads and they need to make more arrests. But this is what he didn't understand about a proffer. A proffer is only for that particular day. And if you admit to it later, you could be held liable. So he thought because he got a pass for that particular day, he had a pass for life. But when he admitted to it later and even went and wrote a book, they could then hold him liable in the court of law for it again. So yeah, it looks like an arrest to the Tupac murder case has been made, and really, I don't know exactly how to feel about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel glad that the murder of Tupac is going to be brought to justice, but I just, he's still gone, and what he brought to the music world will never be recovered. Although I did hear this AI Tupac song, I can't lie, man. It sounds just like him. It was kind of freaky, kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time, because you don't get any new music from him. But I did want to just bring that up for those of you that may not know about it, but you would like to know an update of what's happening in that Tupac murder case. An arrest has been made from this guy Christoppher D. We'll see what happens. Another thing that surprised me, he was still living in Las Vegas. So he wrote a book about it. He done interviews admitting it, and he was still living in Las Vegas. I mean, it's like the guy was begging to be arrested for this. So hopefully justice will be served, and if there's anybody else that needs to be brought to justice for this, justice can be served with that. But it is good to see some progress be made with this. But at the same time, it feels a little too late. But I guess justice is never too late. But shout out to the Tupac family, and shout out to all of the Tupac fans like me. Look like we'll finally get some justice with that. All right, on to the next. So I want to this next section we're calling diplomas and proposals. I need to call our community to the table. I'm talking about the black community, and the reason I'm calling the black community black community to the table is because it's the community I'm a part of. So I want to talk to us for a minute because there's been a rise of conversation about that came up because this one woman made a statement that when you go to college, don't work on getting your diploma and work on getting engaged. So that's why we call this diplomas and proposals. And this has caused some bit of stir, some bit of controversy. And I'm like, how can saying while you're in college, ladies, brothers, get your diploma, get your degree. I'm saying diploma, but it's actually a degree. Get your degree, and if you can, find your husband, find your wife. This seems like normal to me, and the fact that this is controversial is why I'm calling the community to the table, because just a couple of months ago at the BET Awards, I saw a woman singing about the color of her genitalia while she danced provocatively with a pregnant woman right beside Bobby Jones and these other gospel artists. And people didn't bat an eye. You know, most people were just like, yeah, you know, you just got to let them do what they want to do. And I was like, all right, well, I guess that's what it is. So that was cool. But advising people to get a degree and a proposal, that's controversial. So like, what are we doing, y'all? Like, how was that one behavior like above reproach and don't nobody say anything because it's judgy? But then this other one saying, hey, it's a good move to, while you are around other people that are seeking degrees and diplomas and trying to better themselves in that way, to also look for a spouse while you're at it. You know, one of the things that I love to do as a pastor is when I go to people's homes for one reason or another, a lot of times they'll show me a photo album and I'll flip through the photo albums and we'll be talking. But I love to ask older people, and I'm talking about like 70 and up, how did you meet your spouse? It's a very interesting conversation, because my grandmother told me when I was getting ready to go to college is where you get your degree and find a wife. So this was just, so when I heard that this was kind of a controversial thing, I was like, yo, this has kind of been second nature in my family. It was like, yeah, you're going to go to college, you're going to get your degree, and while you're at it, see if you can find you a nice young lady to marry. So, but back to the story. So I go into people's house, and we're having a conversation, and they're showing me photo albums, and I love to ask them, so how did you meet? And all of their stories are very different. But because I'm talking to an older generation, I've noticed their stories a lot of times of how they met, they start when they were children. Like, yeah, we grew up in the same neighborhood. And I was like, and y'all been together from like the third grade? Like, y'all met in the third grade and y'all still together? Like, yeah, we met in the third grade. I mean, we really didn't start dating and get serious till high school. But yeah, I've known him since the third grade. Or they say she grew up in the house across the street, or in the neighborhood, down the street, and we knew each other. Or another story that's pretty prevalent, especially in this Fayetteville area, is somebody was in the Army, and while they were on leave, they went and they met somebody. But do you see what I'm saying? All of this is like young age. All of this is teenagers or early 20s, or really like 18, 19. Like, you got married at 19. Yeah. So it just seems odd that some of the things we pick as controversial really ain't controversial. If you're in college, you're going to sow your royal oats. I can dig it. That's what we generally do. But it's also good to say, hey, I am in a place where other people are getting degrees. Other people have their mind on, careers and future and whatnot. So this is also a time for me to not just be wild and see how many bodies I can get, because, that's part of the whole college life, just experiencing all of that, but also to be like, hey, and if I can get a spouse while I'm here, a like-minded individual of career and goals and things of that nature, then why not do that too? That's all I'm saying. Like, some stuff that we choose is controversial isn't controversial. Some stuff that we say, just let them live, we should be like, nah, we gotta have some corrective moments. So yeah, I agree. Get it if you can. If the opportunity presents itself, you should be looking. So get your degree. See if you can get a proposal too. All right, so let's move on to the next. But I've seen some nice old school letters from military. You know, somebody was away where they were writing letters to their lady, trying to make sure that she didn't forget about them. And as soon as I get back in town, I'm gonna see you and I'm gonna visit. I hear stories about, you know, they pull up to the house and because back then you weren't gonna take a young lady anywhere until you came into the house and met the folks. And even if they already knew you, you still wasn't gonna pick them up until you got out of your car and went in and spoke to the mom or spoke to the dad, spoke to the family, and then got at them. So a whole lot of that stuff with dating and respect, I think we need to get back. And I think that's what you made me do when I dated. Oh yeah. When you were dating my sister-in-law, absolutely. You couldn't pick her up. Just drive up and pick her up. I forgot about that. We said, hey, when he comes to get you, he got to get out the car. He has to come in here. I need to see him. He needs to see me. See, it does a couple of things, Malik. It first of all shows you she has a man in her life that cares about her. So you understand, if I don't do right by her, there's a man in her life I may have to answer to. So and that's as a man and as a father, which I'll talk about it as a father in a little bit. It's invaluable. You want people to know, hey, listen, this woman, this young lady, she has people that care about her. She has people that love her, and we want you to be part of that community. I'm not here to threaten you with a shotgun, but I am here to say, treat her right. That's what a family. That's why you go in to see the family, so the family can say, hey, treat my baby right. That's it. And if I think keeping some of those fundamental things in our community is very important. Now, to the next. Blurred lines. Or instead of blurred lines, I'm going to say it this way. Life or likes. Roy, Malik, and Malcolm, that's some of the people that's behind the scenes that you don't see. We were having a conversation, and I feel like the more time that goes by and the more popular social media gets, that the lines of reality, the lines of life and likes are being blurred. Let me say it this way. When we watch TV and movies, we know we're watching fantasy. We know we're watching make-believe stuff. Even when you're watching reality TV, I hope you know that ain't like reality. Those are real people, yes. But they got production. They know they have to have a storyline in order to keep themselves interesting on the show. Like that's reality. But we all know that ain't real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's real people lives. But so when we watch TV, when we watch movies, we understand that we aren't watching reality. We're watching something that's scripted. Say it another way. We're watching something that's fake. I think that when we get on social media, the lines have been blurred because some of the stuff we're watching is real. Some of the stuff we're watching is fake. And let's be honest, we know people will do anything to be famous. We know this. Where they will do anything, say anything, and nothing garners more attention than something that's controversial. So if I can do something controversial, say something controversial, or attach myself to somebody that already has a name in a controversial way, it gets me more likes, it gets me more clicks. And sometimes we are watching what is playing out on social media, and we are forgetting that ain't reality. That's somebody trying to get more clicks and more views. And the reason I bring this up is because I feel like this war between black men and black women is okay. So it's not everything social media is showing us that it is. But the most popular clips are once again going to be a little bit more controversial. It's gonna stir the pot a little bit more because those are going to get more views. Because when I talk to men in real life, they don't echo the same sentiments I see online. When I talk to women in real life, they don't echo the same sentiments as what women are saying online. So here's what I was saying. I don't know if it's life imitating art or art imitating life. explain this way. I don't know if it's social media content imitating life or is life imitating social media content. You get what I'm saying? Like, is the stuff that you're seeing, is it just feeding you that because your algorithm has shown that it keeps your attention, and now because you've seen so much of it, your perspective of the world, of dating, of men, of women, of church, of the government, of whatever, becomes shaped by that, but it's not necessarily the reality of it. So is social media content imitating life, or is life beginning to imitate social media content? Then we got to take a step back and really make sure that as we are interacting with people, we're not interacting with them because our concept of what people are and who they are has been shaped by social media. Because I don't know if you know this or not, just like TV is fake, just like movies are fake and reality TV is fake, a whole lot of what you see on social media is fake. You remember that? You remember that that whole thing about that guy that was bringing only one kid, some food, and the rest of it, and the whole thing was fake. Like, how many of these things do we have to see go viral and then something come out later on that the whole thing was fake? The whole thing was made up just for people to get clicks and views. The list, and y'all know the list even better than I do. The list of the things that are fake, but they do it. I mean, people conspire for it because they know it's going to bring them more attention, and people will do anything for attention. So I'm just saying, understand that the lines of reality have become blurred, and they're going to become more blurred. But the same way you look at TV and movies with the understanding that most of what you see is fake, I want you to understand when you watch social media, most of what you see is not real. It is guaranteed. I mean, it is garnered and created just to draw more eyeballs and attention to it. And unfortunately, if life begins to imitate social media content, that ain't gonna put us in the healthiest place. So just be mindful and just be careful of that. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. So next up, I want to talk about what's on my heart. My daughters, being a father of daughters, see, because I have an 11-year-old son, I have a 9-year-old son, and I have 3-year-old twin daughters. And being a father of daughters, it has been a wonderful adventure. Girls are so different. They're so different. Like they're cuddly and loving and sensitive, and at the same time, they love you more and different. Like the way they run up when I come into the house and are happy to see me, and when they're sad or upset, the way they run to me to get protection or to tell on their brothers or whatever. It is just been a joy to experience. My daughter Naya, she is into pocketbooks and purses. So before we leave the house, she'll go and get one of her pocketbooks. I just bought her a new pocketbook. She came and sat on my lap, and we shopped. So me and my 3-year-old daughter, which also does concern me a little bit as a dad, she gonna try to spend all of my money because do you understand what I'm saying, Sister Kiera? The girl is shopping at 3 years old. Yeah. Oh, she showed you the purse? Yeah. Oh, when we leave in the house, she's going to get her purse. And not only is she going to get her purse, she's going to make sure that she has what she needs in that purse. So she's not just grabbing the purse and leaving. She's actually opening up the purse, looking at what's inside, and then putting in what she thinks she needs for when we leave the house. It's all toys. Don't get me wrong. It's all toys. But here's another thing that concerns me as a dad a little bit. Maybe think she's going to try to run my pockets. She has her own little debit cards. She has 4 of them. She likes to keep all 4. She knows she has 4, and when we leave it, she likes to make sure she have all 4, like she actually using it or something. But I just shout out to all of the girl dads. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those of you that are much further along in the process, raising teenage daughters and daughters that are grown women. Any advice you can give a brother that can help me as I raise, as Savannah and my wife Savannah and I raise our daughters. I'm all ears for advice. But yeah, it's amazing to be a girl dad. So yeah, so shout out to all of the girl dads out there and all of the fathers in general. So all right, last segment up. Here we go. It's the prayer list. It is the prayer list, and I got to call somebody named Jens to the front. Come on to the front, Jens. This is what Jens has done, and this is why. Now, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if he needs to be on the prayer list or the museum. The people that run the museum need to be on the prayer list. But this is what happened. There's this artist, and there's this Danish artist. So this isn't from the United States, but there's this Danish artist who was given $76,000 for two artworks, two pieces of artwork, however you say it. He was given $76,000 for two pieces of artwork. Here's the thing. He was given his money in advance. So they gave him $76,000 for two of his new pieces of artwork in advance. So I know you're like, okay, first of all, I didn't even know museums do that, but apparently they do. So when he turns in the artwork that they paid $76,000 in advance for, see, and this is why I think this is a bad thing, because why would you pay that much for something that you haven't seen yet? This is what he turned in: two blank canvases, two framed blank canvases, and said that was the new art that he was giving them. And this is what I'm trying to look for, what he called it. Oh, and this is what he called the work of art. These blank canvases that he got, and that he got $76,000 in advance for. This is what he called them: take the money and run. Take the money and run. Blank canvases. And he's being sued right now by the museums because they're saying that he didn't create the art pieces he was supposed to. He's countersuing because he's saying, no, actually, he already lost the lawsuit, but now he's countersuing or something like that because he's saying art is subjective, and that's the art that he produced. So who are they to say that that's not actual art? I think both have a case, because art is subjective. Y'all ever been in an art gallery? That ain't really art. Y'all don't agree. Okay. But art is subjective. Okay. Yeah. But I'm saying art is subjective, and this is what you get, I guess, when you pay people in advance. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if the museum are the ones we need to put on the prayer list, or if Jens, I'm gonna see if I can pronounce his last name. His last name is Haaning. Jens Haney. Anyway, we just call him Jens. And his first name is Jens, of Jens. So I don't know if Jens is the one that need to be put on the prayer list for trying to get over on the museum, or if the museum is the one that need to be put on the prayer list because you're giving an artist $76,000 that has the personality to just turn in blank canvases. So, but somebody got to go on this prayer list here. So maybe all of them. Maybe just put all of them on the prayer list. So I guess we're going to put all of them on the prayer list. But before we do, how old is Jens? How old do you think the Danish artist who turned in two blank canvases that he called Take the Money and Run after having received an advance for his work of $76,000? Oh, and I think they gave him, you know what? I think also there was somewhere in the story that they gave him like $5,000, another additional $5,000 for like materials to use. So all in all, he got like $81,000 for this. So how old do you think Jens is? How old do you think the man that turned in these two blank canvases is? How old? I'm going to go 54. We got 47. We got 54. We got 36. All right. And y'all let me know out there how old you think Jens is. But this is the answer. Jens is 58 years old. 58. He's still close. Still close. Yeah. 58 years old. So he should know better. But at the same time, maybe the museum should know better as well. But shout out to Jens. Shout out to the Danish community. Shout out to whatever museum this is that, I got it right here. The Kunsten Museum of Modern Art in Aalborg. So shout out to all of y'all. And know all the way from Fayetteville, North Carolina, right here on the Pat Stack podcast, we are going to put you on the prayer list. Do better. Be better. All right. Well, that's the episode for today. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share this with somebody so that we can continue to reach as many people as we possibly can. And until then, be good to each other, be good to yourself, follow Christ, and away we go.